everybody, welcome back to Crick Tracker's special show In the Air. Mera naam hai Nivedna Prabhu. Of course, the last time you saw us, we were discussing the entire and exciting series of India versus West Indies. But now it's time for Team India to take on Sri Lanka. सबसे पहले आपके क्या predictions है about this series? Let me know in the comment section. The last time they clashed, of course, was the second string team taking them on, but that was in Sri Lanka. But इस बार क्या होगा, क्या नहीं होगा? A few setbacks for both the teams in terms of missing certain players of injury concerns. वो सब हम बात करेंगे. लेकिन to continue talking about what's going to be happening today, let me bring on my first guest in the studio, Pratyay Tiwari. Joining me once again, I didn't have him give us his opinion in the previous series, so it's great to have you back on the show, Pratyay. सबसे पहले, would you like to talk about the fact that we'll be missing certain players on both the sides, and then we'll get into other aspects of the game?
Definitely. See, I think the biggest setback, I think, for Sri Lanka would be that they have lost Hasaranga, because I think he was one of the chief players even in Australia. I think only played a couple of matches and then the COVID setback for him. So I think जो खिलाड़ी इस समय पे इंडिया के पास में नहीं है, उनसे ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम जो खिलाड़ी श्रीलंका के पास में नहीं है, उनकी टीम उसके कारण थोड़ी सी ज़्यादा डिप्लीटेड लग रही है. But I think they have shown, I mean, because now they are back in the subcontinent conditions. These are the conditions जहाँ पे उनको लगेगा that they are back home, because in Australia the pitches were playing a lot more different than they would play in, say, India. So I think they can still back themselves. But I still feel that if you look at the overall setup, how the teams stack up before the series, you will still feel that despite all the names missing, India is still looking much stronger than Sri Lanka, at least on paper.
Okay, so that is, of course, Pratyay's first, takeaway from this particular clash that we can expect. I see all the comments coming in. I'll quickly take one. Ra Asif, we're very happy that you could join us once again. Hello from both Pratyay and me. According to him, he says bat first today, as last 4 matches in Lucknow have been won by team batting first. I'll come to the toss in a bit, and then I'll come back to your prediction. He's also spoken a little bit about Hasaranga as well. We'll get into all those aspects, but before that, let me bring on my next guest, Chirag Manocha, joining us once again back in the studio. Chirag, great to have you as well. I see that you're bleeding blue, very excited for this particular clash. Right off the bat, what are we expecting here? Any concerns for both the teams, aapke hisab se, or do you think India has enough options going into this game?
अभी श्रीलंका ने टॉस जीतकर बॉलिंग करेंगे वो, और पर यहाँ पर रिकॉर्ड है, जो टीम पहले बैटिंग कर रही है वो सारे मैचेस जीती है. तो आई मीन ठीक है, चलो. पर रोहित शर्मा ने भी बोला टॉस के टाइम कि अगर हम भी टॉस जीते तो बॉलिंग करते. लेकिन ठीक है, पर हम श्रीलंका को ना बिल्कुल भी अंडर एस्टिमेट नहीं कर सकते, क्योंकि ये गलती हमने साउथ अफ्रीका में की थी, तो वहां पर हमने देखा रिजल्ट क्या रहा. तो बिल्कुल भी अंडर एस्टिमेट नहीं करना, मतलब बिल्कुल कर ही नहीं सकते. तो हाँ, मतलब एकदम से अपना ए गेम लेकर चलना होगा इंडिया को.
That's an interesting point that you make, because I think when Sri Lanka and India did clash a couple of months ago in July, if I'm not mistaken, Pratyay and me also, were having that conversation. Jahan pe there was that point where you shouldn't be underestimating them, and they went on to do really well, in that particular series. Right. We also saw in the ODI as well as the T20I series. But there was one star player for the Indian team from there, Deepak Chahar, who finished one of those matches, an absolute fine knock. But he's going to be missing today. That going to be hurting Team India? आप सब मुझे बताइए in the comment section. उसी के साथ a quick word about the toss. Sri Lanka, like Chirag has also spoken, Sri Lanka have won the toss and chosen to bowl first. So if you all have something to say about it and about this decision, definitely let me know in the comment section, and continue to talk about this exciting clash. I also have Gauri joining me back in the studio. उनके हिसाब से, what does she think is going to be happening in today's clash? Right off the bat, what are your thoughts going into this series? What are the bigger takeaways?
चार ऑलराउंडर खेलते हैं. बॉलिंग ऑप्शन.
Sorry, you can hear me?
Yeah.
So what are your takeaways going into the series, and what do you think is hurting Team India right now?
I think it's going to be a great match right now, because playing in Lucknow has, definitely, because एक नया stadium है, नया इतना ज़्यादा games यहाँ पे नहीं खेले हैं, so definitely, lot of excitement going over that. Rohit Sharma having such a great record in captaincy so far. So I think he would be looking forward to just up that record more and more. He's having all the white washes in his under his belt. So I think he'll be taking to up that more and more. So I think and main interesting thing that we were going to see Rituraj Gaikwad play today, but unfortunately he's having some wrist issues, so he'll be not be playing again. So I think all these things in, but having that, if we would have won the toss, we would have also, I guess, believe chosen to bowl first, because dew factor is always going to come in, especially when you're playing in Lucknow. So the temperature is still between something winter type cold, sort of cold and all is still there. It's not a totally summer evening, so I think dew factor is also going to play a lot role.
Okay, so that is of course Gauri's takeaway from what she's also expecting for today's match. But having pointed out about Ruturaj Gaikwad, we always have a lot of people in the comment section, as well as the guests who join us, say that they're looking forward to seeing him play. But looks like there'll be a little bit of more wait for that. Let's take a quick look at the head-to-head when Sri Lanka and India have clashed before as well. 22 with India having the clear upper hand of 114, lost 7, and of course no result being 1. But in the last T20Is, 10 T20Is that they've played, 6 have been in India's favor, three being in Sri Lanka's, and 1 having a no result. So this is, of course, clearly a spot where um, India does have the upper hand. So coming back to today's match, we will be taking a look at what the approaching milestones are, because in a bit we will be coming to the playing 11 of both the teams. If you take a look at the approaching milestones, and I'll come to Pratik quickly as to which one does he think might be most suitable. Uh, if we could take a look at the approaching milestones, Pratik, I'll come to you quickly on that.
Yes, and as we have that on our screen, I think one good part for India would be in this particular series that they would be high on confidence, not just because they have won against West Indies and that they are playing on home, but I think the bigger part in that series was that they won in both the situations. उन्होंने chase करते हुए भी matches जीते और defend करते हुए भी matches जीते. And as I said, कि despite the missing factors, despite the missing players, you will still feel कि इस point of time पे जो series है या जो स्क्वाड है, दैट इज नॉट, यू विल नॉट गेट एन इम्प्रेशन ऑफ द सीरीज की इंडिया कहीं से भी सेकंड स्ट्रिंग है या उतना उनके पास में पोटेंशियल नहीं है एज फार एज दिस पर्टिकुलर सीरीज इज कंसर्न. एंड स्पीकिंग ऑफ कोर्स ऑफ the player battles, I think in Sri Lanka, I mean, in the last 1 or 2 years, what we have seen with them is that there was a time when they were in the slump, but in the last couple of years, even in the T20 World Cup, we saw the kind of performances they gave. They were slightly promising. If you talk about a few players, the way they have risen up the ranks, you will feel that it is one of the teams which is again kind of starting to gain their form back. They're kind of becoming the Sri Lanka of the old, which we knew them to be, because in the last 5 years, we have not seen Sri Lanka to be the dominant side that they once used to be, say in the early 2010 or the 15 era, when they were actually qualifying for the World Cups. They were the 2011 ODI World Cup runners-up, went on to win the 2014 World Cup itself, the T20 format. So I think they have actually managed to put up some fight, and if they can do something here in this series, that again will be a great opportunity, because we cannot forget that 2022, the World Cup is not too far away, and all these series, no matter which, you are looking to capitalize upon these as a to find out the combinations, to search for the players, and then of course go into Australia and then show your caliber in that tournament. So I think they have all the chances with them, and with the kind of talent they have, they can definitely cause an upset or two. And if they can do that, that would be really great for them.
Right, if they put up a tough competition, the game also gets all the more exciting. But at the end of the day, like we always say, it is that playing 11 combination that they've gone with that gets everybody excited to see who's probably getting an opportunity. Let's take a quick look at the playing 11 and get Gauri's thoughts about what the combination they've gone with, and then I'll come to Chirag. Gauri, here, a quick word on the combination.
I think they have gone with some bold decisions as well. I think because introducing Sanju Samson in this competition, because earlier the choice was of Rituraj Gaikwad, but earlier, like Rohit Sharma has also talked about, he's having immense potential that we have seen, and it's all his especially his short ability, making stroke ability is also really fantastic. And going into Australia, like Pratyay said, everything that we are doing right now has something or the other to do with the the T20 World Cup that is coming in few months. So I think taking that Sanju Samson in, where the skipper has already praised him a lot for his caliber. So I think that's a really great idea. Playing all these events, he'll be really ready for the mega event. And as far as Sri Lanka is concerned, I think they have also gone with a great combination. The biggest threat that we would have thought was for us Vanindu Hasranga, who has already been ruled out because due to COVID and all. So I think apart from that, there shouldn't be any much
Right.
difficulties for India going forward. Yeah.
Okay, let me come to Chirag. Chirag, there are also questions about Sanju Samson coming in here. What is your opinion about the playing 11 that they've gone with? We also don't see Banuka Rajpaksha due to fitness issues, as well as Hasranga, of course, because he is still recovering from COVID-19. I'll take a quick question about Sanju Samson and come to you, Chirag. His question is, um, why not give Sanju a go at the top? He must be the revelation in Australia. I guess the first choice openers for the World Cup will be Rohit and KL Rahul. First of all, a lot of people on social media have been talking about the fact that this is a do or die chance for Sanju Samson. Chirag, आपके हिसाब से क्या वो सच है? And also looking at the combination यहाँ पे, what do you think?
संजू सैमसन का भी देखो, अभी आईपीएल में इनका परफॉर्मेंस देखो कि बहुत मतलब जबरदस्त परफॉर्मेंस है, लेकिन इनकी एक प्रॉब्लम है कंसिस्टेंसी। स्टार्टिंग में तो अच्छा खेलते हैं, बहुत अच्छा खेलते हैं, एकदम से अपने सबको इम्प्रेस कर देते हैं अपने परफॉर्मेंसेस से, लेकिन बीच में कहीं ना कहीं जाके डगमगा जाते हैं, वो प्रॉब्लम है। थोड़ा कंसिस्टेंट रहना पड़ेगा। पोटेंशियल है, टैलेंट है, सब कुछ है। कैप्टन राजस्थान रॉयल्स के ऐसे दोनों कैप्टन बनाए, सब मतलब अच्छे प्लेयर है, लेकिन बस यहाँ पर थोड़ा सा खुद को कंसिस्टेंट करना पड़ेगा, फिर सब कुछ सॉर्टेड है। लेकिन आज मैं एक्साइटेड हूँ रविंद्र जडेजा को लेकर, इतने टाइम बाद आई मीन कम बैक कर रहे हैं, तो वो देखना काफी एक्साइटिंग होगा किस तरह से वो कम बैक करते हैं। और श्रीलंका के साइड देखो, अभी उनमें सब में टैलेंट है, पोटेंशियल है, लेकिन काफी यंग टीम है। तो अभी वरिंदु हसरंगा नहीं है टीम में, अभी ही इज आउट ड्यू टू कोविड-19। तो वो कहीं ना कहीं श्रीलंका के लिए थोड़ा सा, हाँ मतलब पॉइंट है कि वहां पर वो कहीं ना कहीं लैग करेंगे बॉलिंग में।
Okay, so that of course is the takeaway from the playing 11 that we've all just discussed here quickly. आप सबको क्या लगता है? Let me know in the comment section, and we'll quickly get talking about the player battles that we have for you. So if you could take a look quickly one by one as to which are the ones, we'll find out from Gauri which one is looking forward to the most. One is Mendes versus Chahal. There's one dismissal here. If we could move on to the next one, the next player battle. Okay, Rohit versus Chamira having 4 dismissals over there. And I think we also have Gunathilaka versus Bumrah as well. Okay, so summarizing all of this, sorry, आपका क्या कहना है? Which one? I do know that you wouldn't want Rohit to get out, but on the other hand, Mendes versus Chahal, that as well.
I think definitely Mendes versus Chahal, because talking of Indian conditions, अभी आप Indian conditions की बात करते हो, it's always going to be a spin friendly pitches over in the subcontinent. So I think Chahal will have a great advantage going into Lucknow pitches. So I think he can definitely do it well. But on the other hand, I would not like to say that I don't want Rohit get out against him. So I think Rohit Sharma, whenever you are seeing your skipper leading from the front, it's always a great advantage for the team, and especially when he's opening the order for you. So I think if he opens and gives a great start to India already, given that they are batting first, so I think that is going to be a great advantage for India. So I'm really looking forward to Rohit scoring runs today.
I think everybody will be looking forward to seeing Rohit Sharma in his full action. We also know that after that whitewash, India has topped the T20I rankings in the ICC chart, because actually after almost 6 years. So that's great news. His captaincy has really started off on a high note. But let's quickly come to one part where everybody's super active during match time. It is social tracker. What is happening on social media? We will find out from Chirag himself. He will take us through everything that is happening.
तो आरपी सिंह का ट्वीट है, द वे इंडिया dominated the last series without some key players, I expect some more opportunities from youngsters in this match. और बिल्कुल सही बात है, यंगस्टर स्टेप अप करेंगे तो वर्ल्ड कप को लेकर काफी फायदा होने वाला है। बैक इन ब्लू रविंद्र जडेजा, सभी एक्साइटेड है इन्हें लेकर, और होना भी चाहिए, इतने बड़े प्लेयर है, इतने टाइम बाद कम बैक कर रहे हैं, तो बनता है, एक्साइटमेंट बनता है। Royal challenges Bengaluru. All eyes on Lucknow as India prepare to take on Sri Lanka in the first T20I of the series. Predictions for tonight. So prediction, अभी all eyes are on संजू सैमसन। बिल्कुल सही बात है। संजू सैमसन किस तरह से परफॉर्म करते हैं वो देखना काफी एक्साइटिंग होगा आज के मैच में।
Okay, what is everybody's take on the conversations that are happening on social media, and what do you think is going to be happening? What are the predictions? Let me know. Also, we'll take a quick look at the approaching milestones, and we'll find out from Pratik which is the most doable. We were trying to get his reaction to this earlier, but we did switch to player battles. Coming back to milestones, यहाँ पे Pratik, what is your take? If you could take a look at all the approaching milestones. And tell us, what do you think is the most favorite?
So yeah, absolutely. I think if you talk about Pratham Nissanka, I think he had a brilliant series against even Australia, and the way he has risen up again, because in the last 1.5 years, 2 3 names that you have constantly been hearing. One of them missing here, of course, rather two of them missing here. Vishka Fernando not here, and also not Vanendu Hasaranga. So I think one of the key players in this series would be Pratham Nissanka. I also saw Chahal there, so I think Chahal did not had the best of series in West Indies. He was more of playing that kind of a role where he was controlling the runs, but the wicket taking चहल जो एक हम देखते हैं कि he is someone जो कि डरते नहीं हैं और बहुत आसानी से मतलब invite करते हैं batters को, and they kind of induce mistakes out of the batters and then he goes on to take wickets in that process. So I think मुझे लगता है कि वो वाला चहल थोड़ा सा मिसिंग था पिछली सीरीज में. एंड आई थिंक आज के मैच में खास तौर पे ये भी है कि बिकॉज नाउ वी नो दैट रोहित शर्मा विल आल्सो बी गेटिंग बैक टू हिज ओपनिंग ड्यूटीज बिकॉज इन द लास्ट गेम वी सॉ he gave a chance to Ruturaj and Ishan Kishan alongside. But now what this has done is कि उन injuries के कारण India has plenty of bowling options. क्योंकि अगर आप पूरी 11 में देखें तो आपके फ्रंट लाइन बॉलर्स के अलावा आपके पास बहुत सारे bowling options हैं जो कि आपके पार्ट टाइमर्स हैं या ऑलराउंडर्स हैं. सो आई थिंक कि चहल के पास में एक इसलिए भी अपॉर्चुनिटी होगी क्योंकि उनके पास में सपोर्ट की कमी नहीं होने वाली है आज. आई थिंक ही कैन बी इवन मोर fearless because in case he even goes for runs, there are other bowlers who can chip in. I think yes, some of the milestones definitely we'll see happening, and let's see how many of those happen by the end.
I was just saying Rohit Sharma's name is the best, happening. But before we wrap up, it's a very obvious question. I don't want to ask all my three guests who is going to win because I obviously know they are for India. Let me ask you this: who do you think is going to be the player of the match? Chirag, quickly, what do you think before we wrap?
India, obviously.
Player of the match.
Player of the match.
Player of the match. Ravindra Jadeja.
Okay, he seems to be really in the Jadeja mode. I'll ask Gauri before we wrap. Who do you think is going to be the player of the match, Gauri?
I think I want Rohit Sharma to be definitely player of the match, but I would really like to see Sanju Samson performing on the day, given that he's given the chance.
Okay, and Prathya, you, who would you go with?
आई थिंक ईशान किशन. उसका बहुत बड़ा कारण ये भी है कि पिछली सीरीज जो थी वो बहुत ही अनकैरेक्टरिस्टिक थे, उस तरीके के नॉक्स नहीं दे पाए जिसकी कि उनसे उम्मीद करते हैं. ऑल ऑफ देम हैव ऑलरेडी स्टार्टेड टू से कि वो 15.5 करोड़ का जो प्राइस टैग का प्रेशर है कहीं वो अभी से तो हावी नहीं होने लगा. सो आई थिंक ही ऑलरेडी हैज एन एजेंडा टू प्रूव रॉन्ग, एंड इफ ही कैन फायर फ्रॉम द टॉप, आई थिंक India's batting first, of course, if he can do that, then India would be really happy.
We definitely know if Ishan does not step up once again today, the amount of memes we're going to have on Meme Tracker, that's the only positive thing to kind of look forward to. No, I hope no one's getting offended in terms of fans. But everybody who's joined me in the comment section and saying hello to everybody. But we are going to be wrapping up right now. But if you all want to join us once again, don't forget to do that in the post-match analysis. We all will be back once again to be discussing everything that went down in this first T20I between India and Sri Lanka. Until we see you next time, of course, stay tuned to Cricket Tracker for the latest news.